Today, we're unveiling the new garden bed. It's August the 15th, and the tarps have been down now for about 3 months. And we've pulled back the edges every month or so, and all of the underlying vegetation is nice and dead. So today we're gonna pull back the tarps, and our good friend Casey, which is Tim's neighbor, has let us borrow this antique tiller, just called the Gravely, that does an absolute fantastic job. Old equipment is where it's at. This thing uses oil and smokes like crazy, but it's gonna tear up this ground like nobody's business. And our plan is to have everything tilled and ready for planting by this coming weekend. Today's Tuesday. So this Saturday or Sunday, we hope to get seeds in the ground. So it's a 20 by 30 plot, and we estimate we're gonna be able to plant around 200 to 250 bush beans. So we should have a bumper crop of beans, we hope, before the first frost. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and pull back the tarps and get the tiller underway.
You grab that in, I grab this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This stuff's dead.
There's a lizard. Okay.
Gotta push up on it because I got it engaged.
All right, so we're tilling. We're more than halfway done, but rain's coming in.
I ain't got no man.
So we're gonna pack up the camera and finish tilling up. It's looking really great. I don't think we're gonna even need to do any soil amendments on this. Look at this. This is beautiful. All the way up to my ankles. Beautiful. We got the hose ran right here, doing our work on tilling. But the rain is coming, and I'm gonna put the camera away. It's been 2 days since we tilled, and now I'm gonna work on putting in some rows. Just gonna kind of mound up a 2 foot wide row. So I think we can do 5 rows with 2 foot spacing so we can get in and out of the rows. And then we're gonna do a double wide row of beans. So beans that are 12 inches apart, spaced 12 inches down the row. So I'm gonna start doing some work here. Got some shade, a little bit of a breeze. Should be pretty nice. far this afternoon, we've got the rows made, and we just finished laying out our drip tape. It's on right now, and we're getting good water pressure, and every piece of tape is dripping. In the next step, we're gonna put down weed mat, and then with a butane torch, burn holes where we plan on putting our seeds. The weed mat will ensure that we don't have weeds coming in, and it'll keep the soil in place. And then once we start getting sprouts, then we'll put down a good layer of top mulch, probably straw. And then the very last step is getting in a fence to protect us from deer and rabbits. There's a game trail that comes right across the top of the property here, and it gets traffic from just about everything. So at the bottom, we're gonna protect from rabbits and rodents, and at the top, up to 8 feet, we're gonna have deer netting. So one more step's out of the way, and we're gonna keep on working. All right, we got the weed mat down. This is the last step before planting tomorrow morning. Exciting. Turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. But we're gonna be managed from weeds. We're protected from the wind. We get good sunlight. We're gonna have a hell of a bean crop. Okay, it's finally planting day. This is our 4th time working this garden space. The first time was weed eating and putting down plastic. And then a few days ago, tilling. Yesterday evening was making the rows, putting down our weed mat, and installing the drip irrigation. And this morning, it's Friday morning, I'm gonna be planting our beans. So the plan is with a butane torch, and where each individual dripper is, just burning a hole, and then that's where the seed will get planted. With the weed mat, we're playing it safe. This being an old, just bunch of weeds and grasses, we're putting down the weed mat to ensure that we're not fighting weeds and we're growing beans instead. So we have a variety of bush beans today and some lima beans. And then with that, we'll be putting on a little soil inoculant that helps with nitrogen fixation. And with that fixation in legumes, it says, according to the packaging, that it will increase the harvest amount. We'll see. We'll try anything for a few dollars to help out with our harvest. So while I'm here, I'll show you just the process of burning the holes here. So marking where the emitter is, just move it back. Easy as that. I'm gonna do that first, and then I'll come through and plant all of my seeds. And then once planting is done, that's basically it for this garden space. So what we've shown you thus far is how to take an unused space of land and cultivate it and get it ready for planting a vegetable. If you have something similar to this, leave us a comment below and show us some pictures of what you've done in your spaces. If you have any questions on the process that we've used, leave us a comment down below and we'll be sure to answer it. The only next step that we have, and this will be once we start getting sprouts, is to get our fence installed. And that'll be probably within the next week. We just have to collect a few more materials. We're having an issue finding the really tall fence posts to keep out deer. We already have the deer netting and the fencing to keep out rodents and rabbits. But all in all, we estimate that there's gonna be about 220 bean plants in this space right here, just these 5 double rows. So whatever your garden space is, just plant your seeds to the depth and the specifications that it calls for. I'm not gonna video detail planting 250 bean plants, but it's basically just making a hole with your finger, dropping in the seed, sprinkling on some inoculant, covering it back up, and we're done. So that brings this video series to a close. We've had a lot of fun, and we'll definitely do updates to show you how our harvest is gonna come. The first frost is about 70 days away, so we should be safe and already harvesting beans. If you've liked this series, be sure to click that like button, and please consider subscribing. It's the subscribers that will help the channel grow. So that's it. Everything's planted and watered. Now we wait to see where the sprouts come up. We'll do an update later on once the sprouts start coming up and we have the fence installed. But until then, keep on working toward a better Terra, one green bean at a time.